Hello, and welcome back to the Out There Pod, where we delve into the depths of the bewildering, the obscure, and the absolutely inexplicable. I'm Rachel, and today, rather than being joined by a co-host, I am going to be doing a solo podcast on a topic that I find really intriguing, the Project Stargate. Over the next few weeks, you can expect to hear some new voices on the podcast, and we are going to be covering topics on a much deeper level. Today, I am talking about Project Stargate because this is a topic that has been a cornerstone of my belief system for several years now. Don't get me wrong, the government is not typically a reliable source for truth. But the publicly available information about Project Stargate is so far out there to me that it opens the door for a range of possibilities in a way that even most skeptics cannot deny. The CIA's website hosts around 12,471 articles on Project Stargate in their reading room section. I won't link it here, but you can find it by navigating to the Stargate collection. You can read everything from site visit to statement of work for phenomenological research in anomalous phenomena, whatever that means. I asked ChatGPT to break down that title into parts and explain it in a more digestible way, and what I got was this: a detailed plan for studying unusual or unexplained events by understanding how people experience them. So, a little better. Anyway, these documents detail an incredible amount of information on the project. Essentially, the Stargate project was a response to Soviet-era research into extrasensory perception, or ESP. During the Cold War, in the early 1970s, American and Western European intelligence was hearing that Soviet scientists were working on using individuals with extrasensory perception to locate targets within the United States and spy on every level of U.S. intelligence and government. Leaked information said that they were focusing their efforts primarily on finding out secrets regarding United States nuclear capabilities and even the locations of top-secret naval operations. Some say that the information coming out of the Soviet Union was unreliable and that the United States intelligence agencies were being sent on a wild goose chase. That makes sense. The Soviets needed something to feed American spies as a distraction from research that they were actually doing. The Cold War was a catalyst for accelerating the secretive, backhanded way in which world governments operate in the modern world. But if the whole thing was just an elaborate ruse, why did the United States government spend 5 years researching the practice known as remote viewing? And then years later release documentation that, during controlled testing, remote viewing worked. Evaluations of the information gathered through remote viewing sessions show highly valuable information was able to be gleaned on the locations and headings of targets as well as other information. The results are statistically relevant, showing that people can learn to see things in other locations or at least access knowledge of things happening that they should not otherwise have any knowledge of. I have looked through many of the documents and seen various drawings and diagrams purportedly showing the results of remote viewing sessions in which the source, or the operative as they were more commonly called, was able to view a location based on a set of coordinates. This technique was created by and supposedly perfected by a man named Ingo Swann, who worked with the CIA in the 70s. Swann went on to open a school for those with extrasensory perception and was even a major whistleblower for the government's operations related to extraterrestrial contact. But during his time with the CIA, he was able to train others in his techniques and develop the human capacity for this ability, this perception. So, why is this so important? That's the question? Really? My bigger question is, why aren't more people having an existential crisis over this information? The government has released previously top-secret information on a program that was looking into ESP, and that doesn't open the door for a wider discussion about, I don't know, the Akashic Records? If you haven't heard of the Akashic Records, that is one term used for the possible collective knowledge of the universe theorized by cultures throughout time and throughout the globe. One of the Christian God's primary attributes is omniscience. He is all-knowing. The concept of ascending into nirvana or the idea of the Great Spirit in some Native American cultures all relate to this idea that there is a universal truth that can be accessed. Someone who was able to access this knowledge would be able to see other areas of the world, or even other worlds within our universe. They could know the future and the past. Consider for a moment that you could program a computer to analyze the Earth, the chemical makeup, the life forms, everything. And in that program, you were able to put every force like gravity and friction and electromagnetism. If it could follow the chain of cause and effect, it could potentially see into the past and future based on a predictive model. The further it got from its source material, the more things would be off. The force that it took to create a crater in the Earth can be used to estimate the size of the impact meteor, but that estimation could be different if the calculations for the speed are altered. And some people might say that human free will makes it impossible to predict the future or the past. But I'm not so sure. I think the human brain is the most complex computer ever made, and that Ingo Swann programmed his brain to do this very thing. To access a knowledge of the universe which accounts for all things, and then use that information to closely estimate locations and information that would not have been knowable otherwise. If someone tells you to pick a number between 1 and 100 without any other information, you have a 1% chance of guessing the correct number. Go ahead, think of a number. Between 1 and 100. The odds of guessing your number seem low. But we know some things about the human brain that can help. We don't actually think of numbers in a linear way. The numbers 1 through 9 seem too easy, too obvious, to be random. So the number you are thinking of is probably between 10 and 100. Most of you haven't chosen 10 or 100 because, again, that doesn't feel random. We can actually get rid of all numbers ending in 0 and 5 for the same reason. So we have 11 to 99 without any multiple of 5. But doubles feel less random too. So 12 to 98. And the most random numbers, based on our feelings, not based on statistics, are 3s and 7s. So, really, the number you thought of is most likely 31, 32, 34, 36, 37, 38, 39, 71, 72, 73, 74, 76, 78, or 79. Now, instead of having a 1% chance of guessing your number, it is almost a 1 in 14 chance. Not bad. Of course, some people out there chose other numbers. I see listeners who thought of 42 or 69. But most people choose one of these 14 numbers. And out of those, I'd bet that many of you chose either 37 or 73. Let me know your number in the comments. The point is, when we think about cause and effect, the more we know about the causes, the better equipped we are for understanding what the effect will be. In essence, we can tell the future. If operatives in Project Stargate were able to remote view based on their connection to a universal truth like the Akashic Records, then seeing what is going on somewhere else in the world could be only the beginning. With training, an operative could see the past or even accurately predict the future. This could open up our understanding of many past cultures that believed in divination practices from tarot reading to shamanic rituals. In fact, like many CIA projects, Project Stargate did reportedly experiment using drugs like LSD to enhance individuals' extrasensory perception. In controlled experimentation, these mind-altering drugs seem to allow our physical brains to access a realm beyond the physical that may include the Akashic Records, powerful godlike beings, or other entities or information that we could not even begin to fathom without having seen it for ourselves. Personally, I believe that a strong practice in lucid dreaming and astral projection can be a start to accessing the world of remote viewing and gaining a deeper understanding of the universe around us. As we journey through this life in the meat suits that we were given, all we can truly know is that we are incredible beings capable of thought and self-exploration. And it's this quest for knowledge that drives our fascination with paranormal events and other mysteries. As we continue to sift through the evidence and unravel the tangled web of speculation and intrigue, one thing remains certain: the truth is out there, waiting to be discovered. And if you have any thoughts or experiences related to remote viewing, extrasensory perception, or conspiracy theories you'd like to share, we'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious and don't believe everything you see. Goodbye for now.